if he's still at Spurs after the transfer window slams shut, he holds all the cards, and that rarely happens. That rarely happens with footballers. He rarely gets...
Do you ever hold all the cards when you're trying to negotiate with Daniel Levy?
Never. But he will. He'll have the 4 aces. He'll have the royal flush. He will. If he can get to the transfer window and he's still at Spurs, he can ask Spurs for what he wants. He can say, I want 500,000, 600,000, £700,000 a week. I want a get out clause after a year.
He's never going to get that, is he?
But £500,000 a week, 5-year deal, 125 million. That's what they'll be paying him in 5 years. It will cost more than that to replace a player like Kane. If you're going out to do a like-for-like replacement, it costs more than that. It'll cost 140, 150 to replace him. Not to mention then the wages of £400,000 a week to said player that comes in as well. So it's a difficult situation that they find themselves in. Harry Kane's not in a difficult situation. He either sits out a season playing at a club that he loves, world-class player, we get Harry Kane for another season, he walks away on a free, or he goes to a club now that he wants to win trophies. I think a League Cup trophy at Spurs will mean more to him than going to a Bayern Munich who win it every year and getting a league title. But if that's going to define his career, if he's getting pressurised and thinking from the noise outside that I need to win a trophy to be classed as one of these top players.
Do you think the noise from outside affects him?
I
think Kane is acting as appropriate as possible. What we've kind of learned to expect from Kane and from his people, getting on with it. Thailand before that, Australia, joining up for pre-season
He's a
with
model
Spurs.
professional at the moment. He had
no one can question
No.
his conduct. We spoke about a couple of centre-forwards in the last 40 minutes.
Yep.
Kylian Mbappe and Harry Kane.
Yep.
Polar opposites in the way that they conduct themselves, the way they treat the football fans of their respective clubs.
But they'll both get the same end product. They'll both get the same... They'll go to a club that they want to go to at the end of the day. They're doing everything they can for themselves. Harry Kane... Look, we had that possibility of him leaving. He'd had the interview with Gary Neville and stuff. So he hasn't acted like this all the time. He's gone a little bit off this professionalism.
He's spoken frankly
freely and frankly,
and
yes.
We should not for a second say our footballers should act any other way.
No, of course
not. Can't be annoyed 1 minute.
Look, but they're both going to get the same end result, Mbappe and Kane. They've both acted a million miles apart. But at the end of the day, they're either going to get a massive contract where they are, they're going to get a huge contract at a club they want to play for. So it doesn't really matter how, as long as you can handle the noise from the outside, it doesn't matter how you act.
You will have been part of dressing rooms, good professionals, part of dressing rooms with slightly indifferent professionals, wanting a way out. Again, we've just spoke about a couple of centre-forwards wanting out of their respective clubs. Talk to me a little bit about the impact that has on the rest of the place, and how for Ange Postecoglou, he will be desperate to see the back of this.
Not much of an impact, if I'm being honest, in and around the dressing room. You know the situation. The Mbappe situation may be a little bit more of an impact if you see some of the quotes that are coming out. If you're one of his friends, you get on the phone, you'd say, "Is this true?" But we hear the noise, but we don't actually know what's going on in and around the dressing room, in the club. We had Erik on earlier saying that he doesn't. No one's come out publicly and spoken about Kylian Mbappe, and in Harry Kane's situation as well. He's a world-class player, and I think players in the dressing room will be saying, "Oh, stay! I'd love you to stay." I've seen recently Eberechi Eze saying about Wilf Zaha, "I'd love him to stay." So you'd get that. You'd get your friends in the club saying, "What's going on? Are you leaving? Are you staying? Are you going?" And to your friends, Harry Kane will be honest. He might be saying, "Look, I'm in the process of trying to leave, but if I don't, everyone knows he's going to be as professional as ever. He's not going to sit on the bench or threaten to sit on the bench like Mbappe has." But I go to what I said before. They'll get the same end result, Mbappe and Kane.
You can reshape, rebuild, and eventually replace everything that Harry Kane has brought to Tottenham.
Yeah, of course you can. We've spoken about this even on this show. With Mbappe, no player is bigger than the club itself, and all players can be replaced. We know this. And eventually, maybe an Ivan Toney, maybe someone who comes up through the academy, eventually you'll get someone to replace. I think there's a fear factor in this situation with Harry Kane, because you're getting rid of 20 to 25 Premier League goals. season after season, and that's
top
hard
pro
to that is
leader.
hard to replace. But in an Ivan Toney, okay, he's got his ban that he's still obviously. When can he play again? It's a few months into the season. It's December, January time. But like you said, you might be able to get him cheap if we obviously find out if you can be sold on this as well. But 20 Premier League goals last season. He is one that it would look a suitable replacement. Points to prove as well.
Yeah. I mean, we'll wait and see. I'm not sure if we ever had clarity on that from the FA, but we'll find out an answer if there is one available. 03717 223344. Back to the lines. Ian is a Spurs fan. Ian, very good evening. Thanks for ringing in to talkSPORT. How are you feeling on the future of Harry Kane and a potential rebuild if Kane heads off to Bayern Munich?
Evening, guys. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
It's a real tricky one. Ideally, the way I see it, and a few Spurs fans might see it, I'd love him just to stick around for another year. He goes on a free. He'll get a whacking great signing on fee wherever he goes. And that's the ideal situation for me. Obviously, there is a high possibility that's not going to happen. If he goes to BeIN, I mean, there's talk of Saudi clubs. If he goes there this summer, then so be it. It's not a problem. He goes with my wishes. And I'm sure Darren was there. I'm sure a lot of Spurs fans would agree. We probably got 2 years out of Kane that we didn't really deserve. He's stuck with us. I know he had the old Man City debacle, but he has stuck around for 2 years. He's given us the best service. If he goes to BeIN or wherever this summer, then so be it.
Don't you really want that 75, 80 million pounds, Ian? Don't you think Postecoglou really wants that money now?
I do, but I'll go back to Gareth Bale when we sold Gareth Bale. I do not trust this club with Levy at the helm to spend that 75, 80 million pounds correctly. But I'll give, hopefully Ange, he seems a decent bloke, hopefully he can pull a few strings. I just don't trust them. And this has been going on for a while with Kane, and Darren, he obviously a Spurs fan. Do you think Levy and co have a plan, a backup in line for Harry Kane?
No, I don't. I don't think they do, Ian. That's a great question. I don't think they do. But what I do think, sorry to interrupt, what I do think, I think Ange Postecoglou does have a backup. And I think he seems powerful enough. He seems someone that will speak his mind enough. And hopefully that's the case, that he can get at least some of that money. Just let me quickly ask you, when you're talking about the ideal scenario for you was Harry Kane staying, leaving on a free, getting a massive sign-on fee, is that more for Kane or for Spurs themselves?
That's more for Kane. He's deserved it with the service he's given the club. I'm saying it me personally because I obviously love to see Harry Kane play for Tottenham for another season. Yeah. And I just hope that somehow we can fluke an FA Cup, a League Cup. You never know. We may get a decent run for a change in one of them. You never know. And then there's a strong possibility that he may stay. And then you never know. With England in the summer, might win the Euros after winning a trophy with Spurs, and then we're kind of all happy. It just goes, but I just don't trust the club, and especially Daniel Levy. And you say about Andrew, I know, I get what you're saying. Yeah. I just don't trust them. The history is there. We didn't replace Gareth Bale. Well, you can't replace Gareth Bale, that's wrong. We didn't spend the Gareth Bale money well. Yep. Christian Eriksen, that was the only one. Okay. Eriksen's gone. Did we replace him? No. You can go back years and years. Carrick, Berbatov. I just don't trust the club to spend the money if we sold him.
Got to leave it there, Ian, but it's a top call. Thanks for calling into talkSPORT tonight. Here's Ben, another Spurs fan on the text. You can't trust Spurs to spend money wisely. 80, 120 million. Who cares? Be better off with Kane for another year and hope better recruitment around him makes him want to stay. Let's talk with Liam, Newcastle fan, called into talkSPORT to talk Harry Kane. Do you think he stays or goes, Liam?
I think if he goes, he doesn't go to Germany. That's for certain. As a Newcastle fan, I think I would want him to go to Germany because it puts Spurs in amongst us. We're up there now in Newcastle, so that would be one less team we'd have to worry about as such now. Because without Kane, Tottenham would be down mid-table.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
75, 80 million pounds. Can you afford him?
Why?
Why?
Not now. Not at the moment. Give us a few years. Get out the rules within order, and we could probably afford him, but
Liam, we'll have to end it there because your line's just a little bit up and down, but we get the crux of the point.
What he was saying is he wants him to go away to Germany so he doesn't break Shearer's record.
We can Spurs. 03717 223344. More of your calls in a second. Here's one from Ken. You're talking about players being mercenaries, going to Saudi Arabia for the money, talking about Kylian Mbappe earlier. Where's the difference when players from other countries go to the Premier League to double, treble, quadruple their wages? Our point would be that the Premier League supposedly, certainly marketed as the, I don't know where you stand on it, the best league in world football.
Yeah,
that's
agreed.
why people go
That's
there.
where everyone wants to play. Well, we say everyone wants to play there. We've not had Messi, we've not had Mbappe, they're not talking about it. But yeah, look, you're going to the top, or if not, one of the top 2 leagues in the country going to the Premier League.
There's no other league close to the Premier League.
No, and Saudi, look, there's no history there. I don't even know where they rank in amongst leagues, to be honest. They will buy players, they'll buy managers, of course they will. They'll create history, but that will be loads and loads of years to come. But so they're financially motivated moves to go to Saudi Arabia. But look, the point Ken's making, I do agree as well, that everyone moves to different clubs for more money. Unless you're at the end of your career and you're having, you're just getting the last couple of years out, or like I eventually went to Championship League One, you're going to just prolong your career. Other than that, if you're going to a better club, of course you're going to double, quadruple your money.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.